Hello there, Minus here, and today my voice is a little bit lower than usual because I got a cold. That's why I've got a fireplace today. We're going to talk about countries. Recently I was in Malta, one of the smallest and densest countries in the world. To be accurate, Malta is the 5th densest country with 1,353 inhabitants per square kilometer, covering an area of 316 square kilometers. Let's make a list sorting countries by area, shall we? Come on. Okay, so we know that the Vatican City is the smallest country, occupying an area of 0.44 square kilometers. Second is Monaco, occupying an area of 2.02 square kilometers, and so on. We know that Russia is the largest country in the world, occupying an area of 17,098,246 square kilometers. But in which place Russia is? How many countries are there? First things first, how do we define a country? Countries are operated by politics. For that matter, there is an organization called the United Nations that ensures continuing stability and peace among its members. According to the Peace Treaty of Westphalia in 1648, the Europeans made the basis for national self-determination. The United Nations operate like this, but the politics will not step aside for geography, and thus creating problems. In political geography, a country is a region that is identified as a distinct national entity. The UN recognizes a country when 2/3 of its member states agree. And here's the problem. Many countries have declared their independence, but because not everyone agrees on that, their request is in dispute. An exception with Somaliland, where no one recognizes them as a country, and thus their request is rejected. So do we have 193 countries, the UN member states? No. There is also the Vatican City, which is a recognized country, but not a member state of the UN. Not because they're not allowed to, but because they do not want to. To be specific, the Vatican City is an observer state along with the state of Palestine, with the difference that the state of Palestine is not a country yet. The US Department of State lists 195 countries, the UN member states, the Vatican City, and Kosovo, which is a partially recognized country. As mentioned before, a country is recognized when 2/3 of the UN member states do so, which now equals to 127. But as for January 2020, Kosovo is only recognized by 115 countries. Even if all member states agree on a country's recognition, there are 5 leading members, also known as the Big Five, who have the right of veto. Barack Obama said in the past that if the state of Palestine is about to be recognized as a country, he would use the right of veto. The other 4 leading members are France, the United Kingdom, Russia, and China. Speaking of China, there is a famous island in dispute 112 miles southeast of the mainland, Taiwan. Taiwan was part of the Republic of China, but after World War II, a civil war started between the Communists and the National Forces of China. While the Communists overwhelmed the National Forces, the latter had to retreat to Taiwan. The Communist mainland was named People's Republic of China, while Taiwan was representing China in the UN until 1971. Since then, Taiwan sought independence with no success up to now, but they have their own government, military, passports, and national team in the Olympic Games at Chinese Taipei to keep the People's Republic of China happy. In the Olympic Games, there are 204 national teams, including country-like territories like Puerto Rico, Bermuda, and American Samoa, which are overseas territories. Unsurprisingly, the Vatican City does not have a national team. The United Kingdom includes England, Scotland, Wales, and the Northern Ireland. So do we count 4 countries, or just 1? The UK is a member state as a whole in the United Nations. Also, to be fair, there are 3 countries and 1 province. Denmark also rules other territories, the autonomous but not independent Greenland and the Faroe Islands. The Netherlands also have 3 territories, Curacao, Aruba, and Saint Martin. France rules French Guiana in Latin America, and Tahiti in the Pacific Ocean. We also need to mention the free associations of New Zealand and the US. Side note 2, 3 of these US free associations, Marshall Islands, Palau, and Micronesia, are independent countries. What's the difference? Dependent territory is a territory that doesn't possess full political independence as a sovereign state, although remains politically outside of the controlling state's integral area. There are territories that have not been legally incorporated into their governing state and make a total of 63, including Svalbard, Hong Kong, and the Isle of Man. There are also countries that apply to the UN for independence, but they are not recognized except one member. North Cyprus is one example, which is recognized only by Turkey. So, non-UN member states that are recognized by at least one UN member state include 7 territories: Kosovo, Western Sahara, Republic of China, South Ossetia, Republic of Abkhazia, Northern Cyprus, and Artsakh. There are also some territories that say, do what you want, we are a country, like Transnistria and Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. They are not recognized by a single UN member state, but they are recognized by at least one non-UN member state. To stay on track, how many countries are there? As you can see, politics can make this answer from difficult to weird. It depends on who you ask. There is an ambiguity of the word country, and that creates several problems. For example, Taiwan is a nation with its own government occupying a territory but not a recognized country. On the other hand, the Vatican City is not a nation exactly, it's more like an order, but nonetheless a country. In order to give a more reliable answer, there are currently 194 recognized countries, 9 in-dispute countries who seek independence, 66 dependent territories with no independence interest yet, and Antarctica, which shall not be claimed by law. So let's stay political, because this is what defines a territory to be a legitimate country. Thanks for watching.